Hey everyone, Rob from Lake Ridge Homestead Tree Farm. Doing another little update here. It's been a little while. It's July 26th now. We haven't had any rain at all since, any rain to speak of, since July 10th. It's been really dry last 16 days here. We had about 10 seconds of rain yesterday that wasn't even enough to wet the surface of the ground. It was a few drips and that was it. And got another message from the irrigation district basically saying that it's in trouble basically. No other way of putting it. Their current demand is 1600 CFS and their current supply is 400 CFS, so demand is 4 times the supply. The grain growers are supposed to be reducing their usage in the next week or so here, so that'll ease the burden a little bit, but it's a case of wait to see if that's enough or whether they're going to have to be cutting people off here. They're drying down their reservoirs pretty good to keep up with demand here, so yeah, they just I don't know if there's going to be enough to go around right now, so just kind of wait and see and hope for the best right now. Just how dry is it out here? Well, see the caragana here, it's got yellowing leaves and it's wilting. Caragana is one of the absolute most drought hardy shrubs out there, and even that's yellowing leaves and wilting, so you know it's dry when even the drought hardiest of things are suffering. Poplars as well are pretty drought tolerant, but see up at the top there's a lot of dead branches and yellowing leaves. They're definitely suffering in the drought here, so yeah, we're going to be losing a few of these probably next year or two as the after effects of this drought. The spruces themselves are doing okay, they're hanging in there, but definitely suffering. I mean, you can see, well, maybe you can see, I don't know, I can see from here a few brown needles in the center of some of the trees, just dropping some of the less productive needles just because there's not enough water to go around. So this one up closer is especially bad. You can definitely see, you know, it's dropping needles this time of year. Typically, the spruce don't drop needles until the fall. It's just so dry and hot that they have to do it mid-season, which is not what they want to be doing. So yeah, definitely have to hope for some water soon here, because it's not looking good. Some weeds are doing okay, like the alfalfa there and whatever the golden one is there, seem to be doing okay. Alfalfa, well, it's not much of a weed as such, but good thing to have around. It's very deep rooted, so it's obviously tapping into some deeper moisture than some of the other stuff can. It's one of the things we'd like to see a lot more of around here is alfalfa. Great forage for the sheep and other animals, and you know, its deep roots will help build soil a lot further down than a lot of the grasses will, so something to consider in farms that are looking to build soil is get some alfalfa in to get some of the deep minerals and bring it up to the surface, and also have a bit of drought tolerance in there too. At least one good bit of news this year is we're starting to see some plants start to grow in some areas that were absolutely bone dead last couple of years, so that's some good news. You know, a lot of alfalfa here. You can see purple flowers. It's great to see that spreading into the area, so certainly a bit of good news on that front anyway. But yeah, last year this ground here was just dead soil. Previous owner sprayed so many chemicals on it, soil stimulants and pre-emergence and you know, Roundup and things like that, that just wasn't any life left in the soil. But you can see a few things popping up now, so even in this year of drought, getting some growth along here, which is good to see. So that's at least one bit of good news. It's not all bad news around here. And so of course we still have a mulch pile there. Gonna have to try and start looking at spreading that fairly soon here, but just tough to do in the heat. This past week we had one day hit 36 degrees. That's I think that's around 97 or something Fahrenheit. Not very good at converting, but somewhere around there. It's that's without any moisture and stuff. It's with the trees in the lake here, we're a little bit more moist than other areas around, but still not enough to make a huge difference. With the humidex maybe only 37, 38, but still, I mean, that's enough to push it up to 100, and for up here in Alberta, that's pretty hot. So it's been tough to work out here. Certainly haven't been getting as much done as I would like to, just because of the heat. But yeah, just going to try and get some of this mulch spread out at some point here. We're going to spread it on some of the soil here that isn't as productive, and spread it out in the tree field here, and try and improve the soil a bit. We want to be more of a regenerative tree farm. I was doing a little bit of research into that the other day, and I couldn't find any other tree farm that is regenerative, that does landscaping trees. So it might be breaking some ground here with that. I don't know. We'll see how things go, but if we can become one of the first regenerative tree farms, that would be pretty neat, I would think. But still a long way to go before we get there. I mean, we got some nice diversity in the field here with some of the weeds and stuff, but we got to get more control over them. Whether it's with sheep grazing or just keeping it cut. But years like this, we like to leave it a little longer since it's so dry. It gives the soil a little bit extra shelter, and keeps the soil a little cooler. Not enough, really, but it helps anyway. That's the main thing. You can probably see, just walking out here, that there's lots of bare soil still, even with all the weeds around. Just letting them grow out and create some of that organic matter to get back in the soil. I'm sure a lot of other people will balk at that, saying that we should be spraying all the weeds and getting rid of them all and everything, but right now they're the only thing keeping the soil alive. So at this point it's not much choice. I mean, we'd love to seed out some good forage out here and smooth the area out and everything, but with this drought we don't really want to be working the soil too much, and having what little topsoil we have left blowing away. We don't want to cut the weeds too small, because of course then we lose what cover we have as well. So it's a bit of a balancing act, trying to keep it all intact. Some areas like this here, it's just still nothing growing, which just goes to show you how much the soil's struggling. When you can't even grow weeds, it's tough. But yeah, I mean, if we can get some of that mulch spread out along here, that would certainly help out anyway, help keep the soil a little more moist and add a bit more organic matter to it. Also would help to get the soil a bit more fungal dominated, which is what you want for trees. You want a fungal dominated soil, whereas a lot of these weeds prefer bacteria dominated soils, so kind of at odds with each other. But the flip side is priority right now is getting some organic matter in the soil, so that's first priority, and easiest way we can do that right now is with weeds, because they're one of the few things that are really drought tolerant. We could have tried to seed out some forage this spring, or some hays, but with how dry it's been, we wouldn't have been able to succeed with it. So for now, we're just we're stuck with the weeds here, and at least adding something to the soil. That's the main thing. We got to start somewhere. Here's another tree that's suffering in the drought. You can see it's got a lot of brown needles there that coming off. Looks like it's suffering a little bit of pest pressure there too. There's some light fuzzies there, some sort of pests there. It's spreading quite rampantly, but just because of the heat and the dry, that the pests are doing so well. So there's a nice little bee coming for a visit, probably looking for some moisture. But yeah, definitely a little concerning with the drought and how it's affecting the trees. Are going to be suffering for a few years because of this. It's gone on for a couple of years now. It's the 3rd year drought. You know, even looking at some of the weeds here, you can see they have yellowing leaves and they're just struggling. That's no other way of putting it. But I'm going to let them go though, because that's the only cover we have and we need to get this improved. I don't know if you can see really well in the camera here, but it's one of our tree holes. There's about maybe 4 or 5 inches of topsoil on the top there, and then it's straight into clay. Maybe you can see it a little better in these other holes here. But yeah, I mean, there's only a few inches of topsoil here, and then it's into sandy clay, so we want to definitely build the amount of topsoil there. It's makes it tough for things to grow when there's so little topsoil. So alfalfa is definitely one good thing we want to see for that. There's lots of other weeds, even some things like thistles and stuff. They send down some decently deep roots that help break up that clay. So yeah, definitely working towards becoming more regenerative, but this drought doesn't make it easy, that's for sure. But yeah, just looking out the field here is lots of grass, lots of weeds around and stuff that are helping out anyway, so getting better, just a long way to go, and the drought certainly doesn't help, that's for sure. So I'll wrap up this update. It's been a while since I've done one here, so I figured it's about time. Not too much really on the go, just trying to keep the trees watered and trying to stay on top of everything, but not easy. Excuse me, I just sneezed there, so I had to stop recording quick. But anyway, yeah, it's been challenging. My wife had to go get a job, and that's kind of left me in a bit of pickle, because now I have to watch the kids, so I can't be out doing as much work as I would like. But flip side is I need the income, so it was a tough choice to make, but kind of a choice we had to make to keep the place afloat here. Yeah, we're definitely struggling. It's been a tough year for sales for the trees, and drought and water issues, and yeah, just real tough year all around, but we're getting through it. That's the main thing. Just have to keep praying for rain, and keep our heads up, and yeah, we'll get there in the end. So I'll wrap this one up. Appreciate you watching, and thanks for prayers for the farmers out there who need some rain here. It's been a tough year for us all, and yeah, we're just trying to get through it. Hope for some better years in the future. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.